had some of the most prominent educators in the country to head the organization. So this was an organization of African Americans, men and women, who found strength in numbers to ensure that African American children received a quality education, whether they're negotiating for a longer school term or they're negotiating for textbooks that present African Americans in a positive light. They found ways to improve educational opportunities for Black youth.
The Hammocks was the answer to a prayer of a recreational facility, a waterfront, and all that we could develop and enjoy God's gift of the skies, the seas, and the animal life.
By 1950, the transfer of the property to the North Carolina Teachers Association was finalized. The Hammocks also provide an ideal meeting place for members to share ideas and strategies for the looming civil rights struggles that lay ahead.
We met at the Hammocks with large groups of teachers. That was when we were trying to get everybody on board with the busing. We've had workshops at the Hammocks Beach where teachers were trained not only in the integration of school methods, but we had to train teachers how to now work with their counterparts from the other race. So we had some summer workshops that dealt with integration of school. We had some summer workshops that dealt with how to get along in a diverse situation. The Hammocks played a good role and a nice setting for the kinds of things ahead of us.
In 1961, the Teachers Association deeded much of Bear Island to the state. The transfer resulted in the creation of North Carolina's first coastal park for African Americans during the era of segregation. In addition to creating the park, the association hoped the exchange would result in the building of a bridge to Bear Island. Claude Cruz started his career at the segregated Hammocks Beach State Park as an attendant. He went on to become the park's first superintendent.
There were only three state parks in the state of North Carolina that blacks could attend. When I first came in, it was still on the rough side.
Hammocks Beach operated literally in the backyard of a sundown town because these sundown towns were places where African Americans could not be after dark. Essentially, these are places where African Americans are not wanted.
In our community, and I mean the black community, the colored community, you're told what to do. And when I moved to this area, I didn't live in Swansboro. I lived in a black community called Silverdale. It's about 6 miles up the road, 7 miles up the road. It's where I live. And I went to church there, and they found out that I was working in Swansboro. They would say, there's certain things you don't do in Swansboro. You just don't do them. And we were told that. We were told, you don't be in Swansboro after the sun go down. At that time, in the 60s, you don't want to be down there. You don't want to be down there after the sun go down. And I took heed to that.
The fact that steps from one of these sundown towns, African Americans are owning beachfront property, shows just how significant and remarkable the Hammocks Beach story truly is.
It took a building of trust and confidence in people to begin to trust us, to see what we were going, make sure that we weren't rowdy, and the people coming in were spending money. And that changed sort of in probably 69, 70. People found out that money was green. So then the town began to open up and accept us more.
While the land transfer created the first North Carolina coastal park for African Americans in the age of segregation, the association hopes for a bridge were never fulfilled.
Teachers Association and the Hammocks Beach Corporation thought they were going to get a bridge. The park provided a ferry, and there was some animosity between the two for a number of years after that.
My personal opinion, I don't think it should have been a bridge. It would have just ruined the whole thing. I mean, if they put a bridge in it. The island's 892 acres, but you put a bridge, how many cars are you going to get over there? Where are you going to park? You got to flatten out all this land, and I think it would have been terrible.
The segregated Hammocks Beach State Park opened in 1961. This was soon followed by the Federal Civil Rights Act of 1964, which desegregated all state parks.
When we first started, boats were contracted out to carry people to the island. The first contractor we had was out of Morehead City. When white people started to come, he would tell them, you don't want to go over there. That's for the black, that's for the colored. You do not want to go over there. And he told it to the wrong person. And they went back to Raleigh and said something about it. So in 1974, the state decided they would purchase their own boats. So the boats have been running ever since then. The park has come a long ways. You have to educate your public to what you're doing, and that's what we had to do at Hammocks. The turtle program at Hammocks, I started that. The full moon in June, when the turtles would come out, the people from Swansboro and the area would go over in their boat to watch the turtles. Some came actually to watch the turtles, some came to harass the turtles, some came to get the turtle eggs. Then I asked for help on counting, and they got us